but they insist, knowing my bliss. I tell them this, if you want to know what the secret is. I often lie when I smile, but I'll tell you why. Because your kiss is on my lips. Because this coffee is hitting my lips. Because your kiss is on my list. Hi, welcome back. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Daily. We meet here for the Comics Coffee Table. Off to another week. Hit the ground a-running. That's right. Living out my fantasy as a rock and roll radio DJ here at WSUL. That's right. Coming at you here with 20,000 watts of pure rock and roll power. That's right. Traffic on the 11s. How are you? How you doing? Welcome back. We are doing some comic book stuff, mainly like having comic book shop style conversations and daily. I mean, sure, there's lots to be mad about, and but we save that for other channels, and we all meet there too. We all, see. It's like what Willie Nelson said. It's like we all see each other at the he's playing the piano. He's like the piano player. We all see each other at the at the tavern the night before, and we're all singing, all body drinking tunes and having a good time, and all the same faces. We all see each other on Sunday morning too at services, and he's playing the piano again, and they're all singing the church hymns and so we all, just it's different stuff, man. So I'm a spiritual dude. I'm an ordained minister. And I kind of come at this from a spiritual angle. Like, let's embrace what's positive a bit. There's plenty to embrace what's negative. But let's not forget why we hold the string for the kite in the first place, or the string or the balloon. Let's take our mind. Let's use our coffee break or our lunch break to not just completely take our mind off of work, but to take our minds off of worry and to not be wound up so much. I mean, I get pretty wound up with this like comic book culture war bullshit because I feel judged on it, and I just like want to buy comic books from the creators I like. And I should be buying books on both sides or no side. I mean, just like, geez, my world is round. My world doesn't have sides. My world is round. An oblique spheroid, to be honest with you. And, yeah, we what do we do on this show? Let me refer to my copious amounts of show notes provided to me by my executive producer, Pikachu. Pre-recorded before a live studio audience of my stuffed animals from our Boston studios, which is down the street from the corner. That's right. And down the street from the corner, on the other side, is a Dunkin' Donuts. Tell Ben Affleck, large regular. If you're going to pick me up, bring me a large regular, if it's in the morning. Sometimes I'm in the mood for a hot chocolate. Seriously. Why the Comics Coffee Table? Well, because the coffee table was always where my friends and I would meet up, break wind and break bread, and have a cuppa together, whether it's like some coffee in the morning or, even maybe something more adult beverage in the evening. But over company, there would always be like an overflowing ashtray. Please use coasters at my coffee table. You can keep your feet off the table, please. Thank you very much. But the coffee table was where we would meet up. There would always be a stack of books on the coffee table. There would always be a stack of video games on the coffee table. There would always be a stack of movies on the coffee table. We just had that wonderful series of horror movies we covered. And we always have a Star Wars movie around, too. And there would always be a stack of music. Like, Who's Got Next? We got the new album by Who's a What's or Whatnot. Did you like that last Beatles song, Sully? You're one of the biggest Beatles fans I know, Sully. You deleted all of your Beatles off of your iPod. That's okay. I have them on a hard drive. I'm gonna leave the. I'm taking a break from a sabbatical. One could say. I just made that up. A sabbatical. I listened to the new Beatles song twice. Saw it on YouTube. Good job. Yeah, it sounds like something I've heard before. Have I? My friend Leah, one of my best friends in the world, gave me this for my birthday half a lifetime ago. It's the John Lennon boxed set. These are compact discs. This is music. Yeah, I'm a big Beatles fan. I used to be, at least. And this has shitloads of outtakes. What was that last song called? Free as a Bird? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it has stuff like this. You know? And it's got this great stuff about after his long weekend. I mean, yeah, just a man's life in music. You know what I mean? Because it especially captures his mid-30s, his long weekend, and making up with Yoko and having Sean. You know, is it here? It's about there are really deep tracks in here with him fighting with Phil Spector, and then in hindsight, knowing that, you know, like what was he on? Yeah, that song number 5 is actually my favorite John Lennon song. It's him at his most sinister and satirical. It's really scathing. That song is tough to listen to. It's 100% pure feminism that I agree with. Yeah, I don't think so. You know, none of that song is not part of these of this box set. Oh, I had not heard it before. I think I've heard Free as a Bird before. I'm not sure, but that was a long time ago. Free as a Bird. Awesome. Yeah. That anthology, the Beatles anthology, ancient history, dude. They're like 2 generations of kids between that and now. But yeah, thank you so very much. It's the Comics Coffee Table. Yeah, the Coffee Table was where my friends and I would hang out, and we'd listen to a lot of Beatles music. Yeah, and but yeah, I heard the Beatles song. It was all right, you know, and it's nice that you know, it's very comic book like too, but it's also very science fiction like, or very just it's the probability of it that like it's the final Beatles song. We finally arrived. We did it. And also on the other half too, I mean, the Rolling Stones have just put out a brand new album called Hackney Diamonds, and I've yet to listen to anything from that. I should just buy it outright and just absorb it. I'm a huge Stones fan. I think when it comes down to, it's weird. Let's bring this back to superheroes for a second and comic books. I mean, I am the biggest Batman fan growing up in my life. I really am. I was Robin, an only child, and just like, you know, just I was alone a lot. So I had someone like Dick Grayson that I could identify with, another only child and with a single parent, you know what I mean, with an auntie or an uncle, one could say, like with Alfred. You know, I had aunties in my life. I had if you put all like, you know, you know, like you could pretend, I could actually see it as some kind of beautiful allegory or metaphor, like, you know, my grandmother's house as Alfred to my very own Bruce Wayne. But the more I grew up, the more I identify with Superman, and I like Superman stories, and I like where he's coming from. And over time, I became a greater Rolling Stones fan. Yeah, and it just, I don't know what happened. Maybe it's remembrance of times past. Maybe the songs are anchors to little bumps in space-time that you want to leave back there. And or maybe it's because there's a different flavor. The Stones are more me than the Beatles. They're sexier. They're a little bit provocative. I mean, John had a sense of humor, but the Glimmer Twins were something else. Let's get to comic books. Why don't we? Thank you so much. I'm getting, we have boards. We got bags. We got boxes. I buy them all at my local comic book shop. And let's get to it. What are we going to need today? I'm going to need 1, 2, 3 bags and 3 boards. So let's prep a couple of bags. Actually, literally 3, because a couple means 2. Or if there's, which when you say a couple of something, I think maybe 3 is involved, because, it's not several. We ain't up to several yet, are we? No. I think, 5 would be several. But it's not 7, though. Yet, 7 is definitely several. I'm not saying that. The bag kind of ripped, but, I put some masking tape on that. It'll give it a little fix, I pretend I'm on a great interstellar voyage, like what would I do if I was trapped on a spaceship and I had a, what would you do? Well, you would fix it. It's like ask. I would love, I love stories from astronauts. You'd love Christopher Hadfield, Commander Christopher Hadfield of Canada, the Canadian Air Force, and Commander Kelly, Scott Kelly. He's got an identical brother, too. Yeah, Scott Kelly. He spent a whole year on the International Space Station. And Mark Kelly is his identical twin. They were both they could both pilot and have piloted the shuttle. And Scott has done a couple of tours of duty on the International Space Station, including a year in space. And so they can have a genetic you have, this is great science. I mean, you have twins. So this one spent a year in space. Let's compare their, stuff like bone density and blah, blah, and woof, woof. I love science, especially my science fiction. That's why I like Grant Morrison. He's pretty tight when it comes to being smart in sci-fi, or at least being creative with smart words. That goes a long way, too. He's like, you're incorrectly using the science. Well, yeah, it's science fiction. It's like, there is it's Green Lanterns don't exist. Black holes do, but Green Lanterns don't, Or maybe they do. Or maybe they do. There is a truck backing up in my next door. My neighbors are coming home from work, and I think I saved the best for last for me personally. Like I said, we are reboxing, reboarding, rebagging my entire collection. I'm with those supplies I get at the local comic book shop, because I'm replacing all the supplies in my existing 20-year collection. Here's a long box that needs to be retired. It's done its job. This is the Crisis long box. It was the pride of my collection. And now we're decommissioning her with full honors. We're doing Final Crisis by Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison's brainchild. On the way out, let's talk about Final Crisis. We're going to read from a wiki. That's right, a wiki! And for anyone who doesn't know, that's that's a Rich Evans reference, kind of. It's an oblique Red Letter Media reference, ATST, ATST. That's Rich Evans. I love those guys. They're just, yeah. Final Crisis is a crossover storyline that appeared in comic books published by DC Comics in 2008. Primarily the 7-issue miniseries of the same name, written by Grant Morrison. Originally announced as being illustrated solely by J.G. Jones, artist Carlos Pacheco, God bless you, Marco Rudy, and Doug Mankey later filled in at the end. The storyline directly follows DC issue number 0 after the conclusion of the 51-issue countdown to Final Crisis, of which debuted in May 9th, 2007 and lasted for 52 weeks. Just like its previous exceptionally awesome weekly 52. Oh, yes. It's just a shame that the countdown to Final Crisis just doesn't matter at one bit story-wise. It was just this free-form kind of just publishing. It was weird. I mean, Final Crisis came out of several ideas Grant Morrison had when they returned to DC Comics in 2003. Morrison said, I pitched a huge crossover event called Hyper Crisis, which didn't happen for various reasons. Some of Hyper Crisis went into Seven Soldiers. Some went into All-Star Superman. And some of it went into 52, and some of it found a home in Final Crisis. And references to the Infinite Crisis as the Middle Crisis gave readers the impression there would be at least one additional major follow-up to the original Crisis on Infinite Earths. And yeah, and that's the wiki. And yeah, what was the crisis? What happened? Well, it was following the final battle of the New Gods. Darkseid's spirit tumbles through time itself, coming to rest on Earth, where he, along with the spirits of the other evil gods of Apocalypse, manifests himself, and the other ones all manifest themselves in the bodies of different people. And Darkseid manifests his body. He manifests inside the body of Lieutenant Dan Turpin of the Gotham Police Department. And Darkseid's fall has sundered reality, creating a singularity at the heart of creation, into which all of space and time are slowly being drawn, setting the stage for the evil god's final victory to be claimed at his inevitable death. Through his agent Libra, he arranges for a huge army of supervillains to be gathered, who capture and kill the Martian Manhunter as the opening salvo of the conflict. Coinciding with the Manhunter's death is the arrival on Earth of Nix Yuotan, an exiled member of the Monitors, who has been sentenced to become human as a punishment for his failure in his duties. And it goes on and on, just to explain the whole thing. We're not going to read the whole wiki. It's not what it's not what it's about. Let's see. It has let's see. No, I don't. And it has a huge total list of tie-ins, and some of them I don't have. Terror Titans 1 through 6. I don't have Infinity Incorporated 11 and 12. I don't have Reign in Hell number 4 or Birds of Prey number 118. I should have Flash number 240 though. Exactly. And Yeah, that's the wiki. Yeah, fuck it. Sorry. And but yeah, let's bag and board some funny books. What do we got here? This is just there was a secret files and there's a sketchbook too. Now I liked this one. This is as close as you're going to get to an issue 0 of Final Crisis, with the exception of DC number 0, which is pretty much the 0 issue of Final Crisis. And like I like to say all the time, hey, look, video game ad. Yeah, I literally put a fire out. No, it's just flatmate is cooking some steak. It got a little smoky. It's cold. It's mid-November. You know what I mean? And thank you everyone for the birthday greetings and wishes. Yes, I'm officially over a half a century now. I'm an old man. Aww. Oh, he's a little old man. Thank you. Yay, got here. But yeah, the sketchbook. It's kind of like his issue 0, but not. See, over on Action Comics, you had Jeff Johns with his Brainiac stuff, and then Huntress Year 1. Aw. Let's see. Well, let's look at the indicia for this. What is this? Final Crisis sketchbook issue number 1, July 2008. Cool. Vampirates. Navy. And just designs from J.G. Jones. You know what I mean? How is Darkseid going to look by the end of this? Look at the exaggerated Omega. And a lot of designs that they did not end up using because we only saw the result of the new gods, Darkseid's minions, the gods of the new gods of Apocalypse being reborn as possessions. They all possessed different, heroes. So like Granny gets reincarnated as she possesses one of the Alpha Lanterns, Boudica, I believe it was. No, it was the let's see. I forget. Oh gosh, she was the. It wasn't Boudica. It was it. It'll come back to me about 3 a.m. Trust me. Desaad, the sadistic torturer of the gods, should be sleazy and perverse. And he's got that face that he's very familiar looking, but we never see Desaad looking classic like this and iconic. We see Desaad only as the corrupted Mary Marvel. We never see Glorious Godfrey. He goes somewhere else. We see the Black Racer. We see Orion real quickly, who dies at the beginning. But they all get reborn. He brings back Shiloh Norman, because this is a lot like this is Grant Morrison on Jack Kirby. And so this is, it's not just it's Morrison's Crisis, because it's about a threat to the entire multiverse. So all of creation means this hole that Darkseid made, you know what I mean? He became a singularity, and he is now a black hole ripping the entire multiverse down with him. This brand new, restored local multiverse of 52 Earths are now at risk. So by the end of it, it's a multiverse team that teams up and has, and then literally they're pulling the Earths out of the singularity and restored the multiverse back to what it was. And the monitors have some kind of cute kind of story in the background too. We have, and what they didn't have was the Forever People. These are Kirby. This is Kirby stuff. The Forever People. And But it started up this whole foolishness with multiversity and multiversal maps. I love the multiverse map of the Local 52. I really do. It's just, but this one too, we just took the cake with the Japanese superheroes. Big science action. They were Japan's JLA. And this was just such a fun design, man. And it's just, and it's the feeling and spirit of the Japanese kind of Sentai shows put through a Morrison, Kirby, thing. It was fun. I really had a lot of fun with Final Crisis. I really did. I mean, and here's some of the ones you've used. Most Excellent Super Bat. The pattern. Costume repeats the 5 yellow negative shapes on Superman's S shield on red. Look at that. Isn't that what a cool design. I love Big Atomic Lantern Boy too. I mean, this is so much fun. And then their teen dynamic. They're a team of teenagers. And so at the end of it, like, you can see like the evidence of like, a love triangle. One loves the other and the other one is like heartbroken. Oh, but I loved you. Oh. And then the mock-ups of what would become the trade dress of the covers themselves and how they came to that. I like this. I like this a lot. That was my kind of funny book. Oh yeah, so let's take these out of their sleeves. This is a Final Crisis that was written by the Flash's Battery. I like to use the word battery like as in with baseball. The battery is the pitcher and the catcher. They're calling the plays. They set the tempo of the game, and they're the heart of the infield too, in a way. So that I call that between like the writer and the artist. And so we got Rogue's Revenge, which is a 3-parter of the Flash's Rogue. So it was this great art. Oh, look at this Scott Collins art, man. This is just amazing. Jeff Johns and Scott Collins. And look, a video game. See, look at the phone. Love it. Look at that old flip phone, man. I think I had something just like that. And the rogues are after Inertia because of the death of Bart Allen, the adult Bart Allen, whose spirit went into the Speed Force, and his body was reconstituted in the 31st century at the end of Final Crisis: Legion of 3 Worlds. But this is Inertia. Inertia is his clone, and was kind of like the Reverse Flash, the Reverse Impulse, one could say. Inertia. And this is about the Rogues taking revenge on Inertia, who set the Rogues up to kill Bart Allen. But this is really cool because he becomes the new, or the first Reverse Kid Flash. He literally becomes Reverse Kid Flash just for a little bit. And just like, this is Zoom. He's not Professor Zoom. This is the reverse. This is just Zoom, aka the second Reverse Flash, Hunter Zolomon. I love the design because it's just so. Look at these panels. Gosh, what could look? And this was what you would get with a Flash funny book. Seriously, I mean, just your usual Flash book. And he was given an old. It looks just like Wally's old Kid Flash suit, except for the eyepiece and the and the Thunderbolt is backwards. And then Reverse Kid Flash comes to his end at the end of his run. And the Rogues have their revenge. Tell the Flash we're even, Rogues. Ain't that... But coming next year, the Flash Rebirth. You know? So we're going to put... I'm going to put issue 3 and the sketchbook behind that. And then we're going to wrap the show up with probably what I think is the best of the bunch. A Final Crisis, and it was written by Grant Morrison himself, art by Doug Mankey, and it really embraces the absurdity of multiverse and spaces between space. It's somewhere that Morrison went to in 1989, and his Animal Man in the 20s, issues numbers about the 20s or so. Where Animal Man is looking for the writer, the great, who's responsible for all of this. His family being killed, for his heel turn in a way, for his darkening. And he has got to cut through limbo to find, and he ultimately gets meta, and he meets Grant Morrison. He was so young, he had himself drawn with hair. But limbo is where all the forgotten characters who aren't being used as IPs currently, that's where they reside, technically. So if like up until last week, the 4th of July, had been living on the realm of limbo with Merryman, who is the leader of limbo, and this sets up. This kind of takes This is what takes Superman off the map, and now. We got lots of dings on this. Look at, we got cracked spine. Like, this is so far away from a 9.2, but it's a 3D magazine, and I got 3D glasses. I've never popped them out. They're right there, and this thing is a really good 3D magazine. Like. So much fun. Oh, here it is. It's not all the pages are in 3D. These ones are. You can see. But then, oh wow, that is so cool. And it's an old comic book gimmick. Yeah, 3D glasses that you can punch out. But story-wise, this just goes all over the place. Like, look, video game ad. And what Clark has to do, what happens in the first issue of Final Crisis, is that someone bombs the Daily Planet. Lois is on life support, and she's literally about to die. So between her heartbeats, kind of like what Krishna does with Arjuna, a monitor comes down and slows time down and takes Clark away. And the time between two heartbeats of Lois Lane, of her failing heart, you have one chance, Clark, to save your wife. She needs some. You need to, take some of the bleed space with you, and this magic kiss will heal your wife. immediately. It's kind of like a Herculean task, like straight out of a Greek mythology, where he meets and has to get along with his opposite number. The only way to stand up to the great evil is to join forces and to cooperate with someone that intrinsically wouldn't, you wouldn't think they were going to help each other. But it's that dire that Ultraman has to be bound in a yin and yang. Ultraman of Earth 3, the evil Superman. Hate crime meets selfless act. That is Morrison. That's a great Morrison panel. That's Captain Atom, who's about he's like a mashup with his with what became of himself in Watchmen with Dr. Manhattan. But this is great, and by fusing these two together, we come with, it creates the Superman, and that's when it starts getting into 3D. And if he can now see, he's a bit more balanced. He's OP'd now. He can defeat the Monitor very easily. Look at this splash page. This is just, and he's closer to his original rendition, too, the 1938 version of Superman, who's pretty much, he's grown up a bit over 85 years or so. The original Superman, he had very kind of darker qualities. He would bully. He'd bully other bullies. The Superman that's nice to his enemies now, he wasn't too nice to his enemies when he started out. And so I think a dash of that is what Superman needs to defeat the evil Monitor. And by the end of it, and this is like what Superman wrote on his tombstone, and we finally get to see his tombstone at the very end. It's very fitting, very appropriate, very well done Superman story. And I'm very proud to have this as part of my collection. And this is going on my spinner rack near the other pair of 3D glasses that I have with all the other 3D comic books for someone to check out. If they think what's a 3D comic book? Well, here's some glasses. Look at this. Is that cool or what? I think so. Thank you so very much for hanging out, talking about comic books. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Feeling great and back to work. And on that note, let's get back to work. Our coffee break is over, and we have we've enjoyed a cuppa together here at the Comics Coffee Table. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. Click on those notifications if you could be so kind, if you haven't already. If you click all, the little bell will light up, and that means the algorithm knows to suggest our Comics Coffee Table to other comic book fans. And we got plenty of room here, so pull up a chair and grab a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today there, pal. Turkey pockets, however you identify. In the grand spectrum of humanity on planet Earth and beyond, you are welcome here. Let's talk about funny books. Cheers. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.